afternoon, everybody, and as was said, I'm Bob Haag from Crystal Group. We're a small company in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and we spend our day and night working hard to make the best products we can for the Army. And I would be remiss, like my colleagues have been, if I didn't thank AUSA, General Ham, and the other folks who were able to sponsor this great setting where we already in the booth have been getting a lot of interaction between industry and the military, giving us good ideas to help us innovate our products. To connect a couple of dots from earlier in the conference to what I'm going to talk about today, I thought it was really revealing yesterday morning when General Brown told us that we're living in a time of unprecedented complexity and connectivity. For us as a product developer, and I'm operating at the Tier 2, Tier 3, sometimes Tier 4 level, where I'm providing products that go in a subsystem, that go in a radar system, that go in a vehicle. What that means to us is that we need to be continuing to work hard to have the latest and greatest processing power, latest and greatest storage, so that we can do what we can to harness all this data that's flying around in the applications. Likewise, this morning, General Perna told us that this is a time when we need to keep expanding our readiness and modernization. And again, from a product perspective, for us, that means we need to work hard to innovate, making sure we're trying to reduce the size of our products, increase the power, and in my case, trying to figure out how we get rid of the heat. Because what I'm going to tell you a little bit here is, from a pure technology perspective, during my Tech for 10 minutes, I'm going to spend time talking about advances in processing, storage, and networking, things we worry about so that we have a host on your platforms that lets you run your applications, store your data as your ISR missions are getting bigger and more critical as we move around the globe. What I'm going to do is give you a couple of slides on just what Crystal Group is, and then I'm going to move into some of the technology specifics and some of the takeaways I'd like you to have from this presentation. As I said, we're a company of about 190 people. We're in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and we fancy ourselves a quick, nimble, Army-driven supplier. We work hard to vertically integrate our capability. We do things as crazy as receive aluminum bars each day and fabricate all of our chassis. Our business model is around taking COTS processor boards, COTS switches, COTS equipment, and ruggedizing it. So we've got a lower cost basis that we can use to supply equipment that's quickly deliverable to you, and we can ramp up and ramp down very quickly. So you can see from the bumper sticker there, for us it's all about serving our Army customer, doing it in a quality way, and being quick. And so for us, we deliver new product development in terms of weeks, not months or years, and that's what we think is our value to this part of the world. Next slide, please. I'm just showing you a little bit of the portfolio here. And again, in the middle of each one of these products is a COTS capability. Our servers are wrapped around an Intel motherboard. The network switches up there wrapped around either a Cisco or Ruckus motherboard. So the magic we provide is providing some ruggedization techniques to those components, and then putting a good chassis around those with at least a 5-year warranty going out of here. Because we know a lot of times the equipment the Army orders may not actually be installed or deployed for a while. So we work hard to make sure the life cycle costs are maintainable. We're worried all the time about life cycle costs and obsolescence. For us, the obsolescence model is cleaner because we're using COTS boards. So we get the next generation board in. We don't have to worry about when that capacitor goes obsolete or that chip or that FPGA. So for us, it's been a very nice business model. Next slide, please. To find Crystal in your deployments, you probably have to dig down a little ways. But rest assured, these are some of the programs we're on. Typically, you're going to see us where there's a very processor-heavy application, radar processing, or data-intensive storage requirement. Here's a listing of some of the programs we're on. And we're on over 500 programs right now. And so it's really cool to be able to, as a Tier 4 guy, be able to stand in front of this crowd and say, hey, we're happy, we're partnering with you guys. So a lot of what we do with our investment dollars is going around what we hear in the booth today. So again, I encourage you guys to stop by and see us after this as well. Let's go ahead and move forward. Now what I'm going to do is give you a couple of slides on some of the technology slants. Again, this being a technology in 10 presentation, I wanted to show you what we at the product side are doing with the advances in processing. Part of our business model is to always be getting the leading edge processing capability. We're testing Intel boards generally a year before the public gets that processor capability. And we're doing that because we're putting it through our environmental test, we're figuring out how to ruggedizing it, so as soon as Intel goes into mass production, we're ready to carbon copy that and put it in our products and deliver it to you. This is an example of a server that we provide that we're just rolling out. We just started rolling out this year, leveraging Intel's latest processing capabilities, the Xeon processor. It's an X11 capability, and two things are important for the warfighter here. First, we found a way to bring the latest processing capability and put it in a form factor that is actually smaller than its previous form factor, and we've done it in a way that we can get the heat dissipated. Because in this environment, as you guys know, getting the heat out without growing size, we're space constrained pretty much everywhere we deploy, is a big deal. And the second thing we did, if you could advance the slide, please, is we've made it pretty modular. A lot of our warfighters have said, I love your server, but boy, it'd be easier if I could have a DVD player here instead of do some training as opposed to more storage. So we've made it very modular so the soldier can actually pull out drives, put in different things in the field. And that's just a listing of some of those, but again, it's forums like this where we get input from you guys, again, down at the product level, so I can be providing capability to my primes who are providing solutions to you guys. If you could move it forward, please. This is kind of a cool, I'll say sort of mainline, sort of tangent topic, and we've been getting lots and lots of requests from Army customers and actually commercial customers asking us to package not only processing capability, but a lot of graphics processing capability. More and more, we're seeing our customers putting more LiDARs, radars, cameras around vehicles, around perimeter. Vehicles in particular, we're seeing a need right now to be able to, again, receive all this graphic processing information inside, couple it with some heavy-duty processing for applications, and store it, process it in a way that, again, is thermally efficient. So the package I'm showing you up there is something we're deploying on some military vehicles now and on a lot of actually civil cars to support the whole drive to driverless cars. And while driverless cars is an interesting application, the whole idea of receiving all sensor input with the latest and greatest processing and doing it in a thermally efficient way is really a core competency we're bringing to this space as well. You can move forward here. And the final part I want to talk about is on the networking side. And for us, networking means think the top of a rack. Ethernet connections. I need to do a lot of battleship, military trucks, WinT trucks, doing a lot of network connectivity. Again, our core competency is around ruggedizing a Cisco or a Ruckus switch, putting it in a form factor that survives. And for us, a lot of our Army customers said, hey, that Ethernet switch, it's fine, but I need circular connectors. Fine, that's what we do. And the benefit of being a small company and providing into this space is generally we don't sell anything of what we've got. Well, that would be a brilliant thing. Generally, you guys and your customers and your users are wanting something a little bit different. That's a niche we play very well. I may need 24 circular, I may need 12 circular, 12 Ethernet, I may need power over Ethernet. So for us, it's a nice space to be able to be almost a partner with the Army relative to testing out some new concepts, testing out some new connectors, testing out some new form factors, because broad brush, about half of the products we provide go in racks of equipment, and the other half are custom form factor. And again, for those of you that get a chance to stop by our booth at 308, you'll see we've got some form factors that are less than a kilogram that are flying around on shadow UAVs, under the seat of Humvees. Again, they're engineered in such a way they get the heat out and make the processing available for the Army. If you could go ahead here, please. And just let me wrap up with a couple of key points. And first, again, I want to thank you guys, because it isn't often that the small company way down the food chain gets to interact in this forum and share with you some of what we're doing to support the big Army vision. Generally, the information flow is from you to a contractor, to a prime contractor, to a system supplier, eventually down to me. So this is awesome. We've had a lot of interaction out here. A lot of my job is to be gathering loose requirements and turning those into next generation products. So I appreciate the support the Army's provided to us. We look forward to continuing to provide solutions and innovation for your needs. And again, for those of you that can, please stop by 308. Those of you that have been there already, thank you. And again, I appreciate your time and have a great rest of the conference.